Hello and welcome to another video. Today I thought I would make another one of my holiday cards for this coming year. Figured I'd, slowly but surely make progress. My goal I think at the moment is maybe like one a week or so that way by the time that the holiday season in terms of like when I need to mail them is upon us, my cards are ready to go for my family and friends. So I am using today the Snowflake Wishes stamp set and the corresponding So Many Snowflakes dies. If you have not seen these dies yet, they are lovely. So it comes with this piece, which I haven't played with yet, but I definitely will. Let me move this one out of the way. There we go. So this piece here stitches out this piece right here. And so this comes out, but then these like snowflake pieces get die cut as well. So it looks essentially like this kind of fanciful border there. And then this is another sort of smaller snowflake on its own there. So lots of snowflakes to choose from here for your cards. There we go. So lots of snowflakes to choose from. This one here is also very neat. This is not a die for punching out a snowflake. It's actually a die that like cuts out into your paper. So notice here, these are all individual pieces. They don't have one large die cut. Like this die cuts it into your paper. So that'll be a fun one to play with as well. And these correspond with stamps from the stamp set right here. I believe this one corresponds with this one, and this one here corresponds with that one. And so lots of beautiful snowflakes that you can choose from. And one of the reasons I chose this particular set when I bought it, other than the fact that I love snowflakes and that the entire bundle came with like this beautiful paper too, with like the blues and the purples, which I just loved. I have friends who celebrate Hanukkah, and this is one of those where while it also had holiday season type things, also look at this, I love puns, thank you so much, ha! But it had this, a happy Hanukkah celebration kind of sentiment there, and I was like, thank goodness, because you can never, I feel like it's always good to not ignore the other holidays that your friends and family may celebrate. So I love this stamp set. Definitely needed to get it. It was absolutely in my pre-order, and I thought that for today's card I would make this one where I add a little bit of ribbon. This one I actually cut it to the piece. I think when I make it again I'm actually going to wrap it around the paper, and I think that'll make it a little bit nicer. But see, just a little bit of bling, but I don't know if you can tell. Let's see if I can get it to show. Maybe not so much there. This snowflake, I actually die cut. Let's see if you can see it on the bigger piece. Maybe if I go more slowly. Let's try add another light. Oh, I don't know if you can tell. Let me try standing up. My angle's bad. There you go. You can definitely see that. So this is our shimmer white cardstock. And that is what I actually die cut our snowflake out of. So I used just regular thick whisper white cardstock for the card base, but I used the shimmer white for the snowflake. I think that that adds a nice little sparkle and kind of ties it in with this ribbon. So this card, super easy to make. Let me show you how to do that. So first, you need your card base. It is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. I'm just lining it up using my bone folder to push down my crease. Next is also very easy. So essentially you need 2 pieces for this particular card of 4 inches by 5 1/4 cardstock. I recommend one piece being very I guess muted might be a good word for it. Essentially this one has no like set pattern. Even this one might work as a background piece, but I thought that some of these snowflakes were a little bit big and I didn't want it to take away. This side here, which I thought was very cute, could have also been a really good one, but I wanted to make sure that the that my colors worked well. So I wanted to stick with one color, which is, in this case, Pool Party. So I'm going to adhere this piece straight onto my cardstock. I'm going to just use, for the sake of ease here, I'm just going to use my Tombow because it's handy, but I will need my Stampin' Seal here soon. So there's that. Don't need much. This this DSP is not super thick, which means that it's maybe not as good for things like boxes, but it would be fine for like making a bag or having it for things like card bases. So there's that. So now here's the thing. The next thing I need to do is cut this piece out right here. If you do not have the 2 1/4 inch punch, you can use our dies. If you have the dies, the stitch circles, or I don't think it's called, the scalloped and the circles dies that we have, I'll link them below in case you would like to use them. But essentially you just line it up with one of the corners and then punch that right out. So here's the thing though, I was a little bit, I didn't make a good choice. I knew I wanted it in this corner, but I punched it like this. I actually, if I want it in this corner, I need to punch it like this, because the punch, recall, is going to push the paper in the opposite direction. And so notice here, I don't think you can see, but essentially I have the teeniest, tiniest little hair of space there. And if you do a really good job, that still looks like a circle, right? You can kind of see that this is a straight edge, and there was another one. Oh man, I was really close here. So essentially there's technically 2 little straight edges here, but it's otherwise pretty great. And so I could actually use this as a circle piece, like an accent to a card, right? I could have something on top of this, like a little design, or even a snowflake, right? This piece is still salvageable. This was my other one, a little bit more noticeable, but I could even like chop this down the middle and have it, you know, added as an accent piece as well. So certainly usable, if not in every scenario. So next, let's go ahead. Before I adhere this down, I said I was going to try with my ribbon here first. Again, this paper is not super sturdy, so I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work, but I think it'll be fine. So before I add my ribbon though, I'm going to actually stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to do that in Pool Party. So just gonna go ahead, and earlier I noticed there was a little bit of a spot of some sort of thing that my ink had picked up. There we go, let it sit. And this piece right here is actually 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. The aim is for it to go right across this piece of paper right here. All right, so now here's the trick. Ready? I do not want to have to worry. Oh, actually, sorry about that. While I still have my ink out, I actually stamped this sentiment on the inside. Let me read it to you once I go ahead and stamp it in there. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Quick trick in terms of cards. If you stamp the sentiment, inside sentiments in the inside of the card, you're more likely to have less space for you to write. So this might be a good thing to use, like this type of inside sentiment being a little bit larger and in the center. Might be good for like, say maybe a coworker you're sending a card to that you maybe don't have like a ton to talk to, you know, to write about, maybe because you see that person every day. So that might be a good thing to, essentially the higher up you put the inside sentiment, the more space you'll have to write, you know, your own thoughts and words. The more in the middle you put it, the less space you have for that. And so there's a little something to be said there. So that is done. So now here's what I'm going to do. This is kind of, oh, I don't know if I would call it a trick, but you can use your sorry about that. You can use your Stampin' Seal here. And I am going to just put a little bit right here and right here. I'll put a little bit in the middle. So essentially all I'm doing here is I'm going to lay this on top. I do want it to be about even in terms of how much it overlays, so I'm actually going to use my grid paper. So notice this ribbon, if I overlay with this, I know that it'll be 1/4 of an inch over the top, meaning it'll have 1/4 of an inch border. I don't really want quite that much, so I'm going to lay it over with like maybe this much, which looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to push it down a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing here, making sure it's aligned with that line. All right, so I want it to be about halfway through that border, or that other piece. And there you go. And if you center your ribbon, then when you put this onto your card, right, or onto your cardstock, it's going to be really easy to do. So notice that. Boom. So now all I'm going to do, if I want it, well, let's put it a little bit more centered. So right about here. So here's what I'm going to do, right? We are going to put Stampin' Seal right here, so that way that ribbon can just wrap around it. And it looks like I put that extra little bit in the middle here and it wanted to stick, but it was a little crooked. So let's fix that first. So let's actually add a little bit more right down the middle so we know it's got a good seal there. Ooh, trying also not to stick my hands all over it. So again, you've got your seal on this side, so that means that's where you've got your piece lining up. So there's that. I'm gonna hold it there. I should have probably adhered this piece first, but that's okay. You can just learn from my mistakes. Alrighty, so now I'm just gonna fold these over, and that's gonna look a lot cleaner than my more frayed edges on my previous card, which is fine. Luckily, I don't have any family. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks much cleaner. Very good. So I do recommend you do that, just as I suspected. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and bust out our dimensionals. For this, I'm actually popping up this whole piece. So you will need a fair number of them. If you want to take a stab at instead using our adhesive strips, you can definitely do that. Those would be nice. The adhesive strips are a little bit higher, so something to note there. If you're going to use them, you might want to you know, maybe make sure that this is a card that you hand deliver, just to make sure you don't have to pay for extra postage if you add other embellishments. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just taking these off. I recently trimmed my nails, but I've still got enough give here to be able to pick up all these little labels. The catch is whether or not I find the trash can underneath my table or if they end up on the floor. Usually I'm pretty good about it. So here's the catch. Ready? You have to lay it right on top of your previous piece, because the idea is that essentially you're creating what looks like a layer right there. And there we go. You just kind of push where you remember you had your pieces. So there's that. Now we add our snowflake. For this, I actually just used the Tombow again. I just added essentially a little dot of glue in each of these pieces right here, and then a little bit in the center as well. There we go. So there's that. Oh, try not to get it to fall. Alrighty, so just get it there. For mine, I intentionally didn't want it to be like upright, because I figured if I even made it slightly off, it would be very noticeable. So I didn't want to do that. So I intentionally made it not be, not like trying to center it like that, because I don't always trust my ability to, there we go. Look at that. There we go. And so there is that card with this particular bundle. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually, let me move some things here in front of me. I have, where is it? They came out with this beautiful, where did I put them? There they are. Hello. They came out with these beautiful little iridescent and other colored snowflakes. Let's see if maybe we'll add a little bit more bling to my cards. They're called adhesive back snowflakes. So they come in these kind of pink shades here and these kind of like iridescent multicolored. I don't know. I feel like I don't really, definitely not these pink ones. I don't know. No, I think this card is really nice without these. But notice all of the fun. Let me put a piece of, here, let's put this paper behind it. So notice all those kind of fun colors. That leaves a lot of openings in terms of how you can use them to add a little bit of that shine and tying in those snowflakes to the card. So that being said, those are the cards that I've made for you today. Very easy, as you saw, using not too many materials, but very simple to make. Again, a little monochromatic, but I love it. You've got your extra pieces that you can still use for another card. And speaking of which, you may recall in the previous video, I had made these sets of cards right here. So this set of card I had told you, I was like, well, when you punch these out, you can make another card with it. And I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. So I made this like nice and simple card using those pieces and a little bit of other pieces around to make this very simple little card. But again, two colors, our in color Bumblebee and Just Jade with that DSP from the Flowers for Every Season. And this is from the Daisy Lane stamp set. And so I just thought that, you know, just don't waste your pieces, right? When you've got these leftover pieces, go ahead and use them up. And so I thought, now I have this nice, fun, simple card to go. And then these are the ones from today's video. If you need any of these materials, please make sure to get in touch with me so that I might be able to help you. If you are in need of a catalog, a holiday catalog, or anything like that, let me know. If you would like to see more videos like this and others, make sure to subscribe below so that you don't miss a video. You can even hit the notification bell if you want it to actually like come up on your feed like specifically for me. So again, I am intending on having a giveaway for a set, actually a bundle, not just a set, called Banners. Ooh, Banners for the Year, something like that. I don't have it near me. I've put it away for the moment. But that particular bundle is going to be going up for grabs once I hit my 100 subscribers, which I am nearly there. I'm up into the 80s now and I'm feeling great about it. So if you would like to help me get there and a little bit faster, feel free to subscribe. If you are one of my subscribers, when you help me get to 100 subscribers, I will end up having that giveaway, and that will be where you can earn that particular bundle. So if you have any questions on anything, feel free to get in touch. Ooh, sorry, I'm seeing little furs. I've got a lot of animals at my house, so unfortunately it gets everywhere. So I will see you in the next video. Stay safe and healthy. I'll see you then. Bye.